Guys, I know that many of you are worried about the future of the Golden State Warriors, and I understand the tension. What I'm going to tell you now could change everything you imagined about the team and its trajectory this season. This decision is not only surprising, it could define the direction of the team for the coming years. If you are a Warriors fan, this is one of those decisions that could leave everyone shocked. But don't worry, it's not the end. There is a solution, and the impact will be greater than you imagine. Stay tuned until the end and find out what's behind this turnaround. Before I tell you everything about this decision that will change the Warriors, I need your help. If you are a fan of Golden State, subscribe to the channel now, because here you will stay up to date with everything that goes on behind the scenes and the biggest news about the team. Don't forget to like this video, because this helps us bring you even more exclusive content. And of course, activate the bell so you don't miss any details. You won't want to miss out on everything that's going to happen. Now, without further ado, let's see what's behind this impressive change in the Warriors. The impact of a decision, the transformation in the Warriors, and the future of Kuminga. The world of basketball is built on defining moments. Sometimes these moments can seem small, almost inconsequential, but their impact can be so profound that they end up shaping the future of an entire franchise. This is something that, as fans, we often forget to realize until the change is already happening. A simple contract signing, something that at the time seemed routine, could be the turning point that determines the course of a season or even an entire era for a team. And that's what happened with the Golden State Warriors. What seemed like a simple decision, made in a recent summer, could have radically altered the future of a team that, until then, seemed to have the championship in its hands. I know that, in the heat of the moment, many of us celebrated the continuity of the squad and believed that things were going well. But today, when looking at the Warriors' situation, I realized that that seemingly trivial decision may have rewritten the future of the franchise. If you're watching this video, it's because, like me, you care deeply about the Warriors. Here, we don't just talk about games and statistics, but we seek to understand what is really happening behind the scenes, the decisions that are made, and how they affect not only the team but the entire league. What I'm going to tell you today goes beyond the results on the court. It will give you a broader view of what happened and what may be to come, including Jonathan Kuminga's role in this big puzzle. This summer, while many focused on market movements and Western Conference roster changes, behind-the-scenes discussions were taking place that could have completely changed the Warriors' trajectory. And this is where Kuminga's story fits in. Those who followed closely noticed that, behind the rumors and apparently normal movements, there was a growing tension that, if it had come to fruition, could have reshaped the Warriors franchise forever. Jonathan Kuminga, the jewel and the doubt. When the Warriors selected Kuminga in the draft, there were high expectations about his future. He had all the tools to be a high-level player, impressive physique, great athleticism, and enormous defensive and offensive potential. But in basketball, as in any sport, potential needs to be worked on. Kuminga was a promise, but promises need time, patience, and the chance to mature in the right environment. And the big question was, would he develop within the Warriors or on another team, which perhaps offered more opportunities or more space for him to shine? During his time with the team, we saw glimpses of the great player he could become, but we also saw the natural ups and downs of a young man trying to find his place in a team with high expectations and an already established squad. The big question about Kuminga has always been, would he be able to become the player needed for this title-hungry team, or would he have to find his own path elsewhere? This doubt became even more evident when his name began to circulate in trade scenarios, especially during last summer. What seemed like a remote possibility became a hot debate behind the scenes as the Warriors discussed it, while other franchises like the Phoenix Suns, Sacramento Kings, and even other teams were interested in making a significant trade to secure the young talent. The summer of uncertainty, Kuminga at the center of discussions. During that summer, as teams prepared for the season and tried to find ways to strengthen themselves, Kuminga's name came up in several conversations. These were not empty rumors, but serious discussions. The Phoenix Suns, with their ambitions and need for reinforcements, soon made Kuminga a target to strengthen their squad. For the Suns, acquiring a young player with so much potential seemed like a smart move. They were trying to maximize a window that was quickly closing, and Kuminga could be the missing piece. With a controlled contract, it represented good value in terms of future production and financial flexibility. In addition to the Suns, the Sacramento Kings were also at the game. Both teams were looking at how to put together interesting packages that would entice the Warriors to make the trade. In this type of scenario, where several teams are competing for the same player, the price increases and the chances of a trade actually happening increase. This was the crucial moment. Golden State was listening to offers, evaluating what could be offered, and was in a unique position with the opportunity to negotiate. They could have kept Kuminga, or they could have taken advantage of a trade opportunity to receive something more immediate, something that would help the franchise compete for more titles now. The situation was far from simple. Kuminga and the potential Durant trade, the scoop that almost happened. And here is where the story gets even more interesting. I know many of you who follow the team closely may have heard about this, but imagine the following scenario. Kuminga being traded to the Phoenix Suns in a trade that would bring Kevin Durant back to the Warriors. Yes, that's right. Kevin Durant, one of the greatest players of the last decade, returns to the Bay Area to reunite with Steph Curry and form the unbeatable duo once again. That would have been an epic comeback, with major repercussions for the entire NBA. The conversations were serious, but for some reason, the agreement did not materialize. Durant went to the Houston Rockets, and the trade was canceled. However, the mere fact that this was on the table shows how serious the interest in Kuminga was. The discussion reached a level where big changes could happen, a dramatic transformation in the Western Conference, the decision to stay, Kuminga's contract extension, and its implications. Then, in a surprising move, Kuminga signed a contract extension with the Warriors. At first glance, it seemed like a positive decision. A young player who decides to stay and continue his development with the franchise. A sign of stability, right? Not so fast. Here is where the situation gets a little more complicated. Contract extensions in the NBA, while seen as a sign of trust and commitment, in reality, can create significant restrictions. When Kuminga signed his extension, he activated contractual restrictions that prevent him from being traded immediately. This is part of the NBA's collective bargaining agreement, and he will only become eligible to be traded again starting January 15th. This detail changes everything. Kuminga's contract is no longer a simple long-term contract. Now it has turned into a short-term situation that after this season will give him the opportunity to negotiate a more advantageous contract, which could completely alter trade negotiations. This new scenario could affect how franchises view Kuminga. The appeal he previously had, a controlled contract, without major financial implications for the team that signed him, now no longer exists. The team that pursues Kuminga will have to deal with a player who could soon demand a large payment. The impact on the exchange market and the future of Kuminga. This is where things get even more difficult for the Warriors. If Phoenix was interested, now their interest has cooled due to this new contract structure. This does not mean that Kuminga has lost value, but it does mean that the dynamics of the exchange market have changed. The Suns, who were very interested, are now more cautious. That's the kind of reality the Warriors need to reckon with. But as a Warriors fan, I understand the concern. Kuminga is a valuable piece. He has incredible potential and could become a vital part of this franchise for years to come. However, if you look at it from the Warriors' perspective, decisions need to be made with the championship window in mind. Curry is playing at an impressive level, but his time as the team's main player isn't forever. This puts the Warriors in a unique and complex position. What is best for the team in the long term? Continue investing in Kuminga's development or make a trade that could bring immediate pieces to help compete for more championships while Curry is still in his prime? The future scenario. What to expect from Kuminga and the Warriors. What is clear is that the Warriors have options. They can continue to invest in the development of Kuminga, keeping faith in its growth, or they could look for a trade that would help accelerate their title quest now, while they're still at the top of the NBA. The next few weeks until January 15th will be crucial. Teams are still keeping an eye on Kuminga, and the trade market could heat up quickly. For Warriors fans, this may be a time of uncertainty, but it is also a time of opportunity. The decisions made during this period will define not only the future of Kuminga, but the future of the franchise itself. Will the team focus on its long-term future, or will it take advantage of its current window and seek an immediate title? I will be following it closely, as will you, and of course any movement will be shared here on the channel. Follow, subscribe, turn on notifications, because the next few months promise to be decisive for the Golden State Warriors and the future of the NBA. Let's see how this plays out and what the future holds for our team. See you in the next video, where I'll bring you more updates on the Warriors season and more. So what do you think, Warriors fan? We're about to enter one of the most exciting and decisive periods of the season. The choices made now could change the course of our team for years to come, and you won't want to sit out this roller coaster of emotions. The future of the Warriors is at stake, and every move counts. Now, I need you. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, do so now. Activate the bell so you don't miss any updates on what's happening in the Golden State. Don't miss any crucial movement, whether it's about Kuminga, exchanges, or any bombastic news from our franchise. And of course, leave a like to support the content and show that you are with us on this journey. And to stay up to date with everything about the Warriors, be sure to check out the Golden State Warriors News Today playlist that will be in the pinned comment. There, you'll find all the hottest updates and analysis of the season, everything, so you're always one step ahead of your fans. See you in the next video, with more analysis, more news, and of course, much more about the Golden State Warriors. Let's go together because the best is yet to come.